The first thing you're going to want to do is look at the player menu in the corner. The player menu shows you the 4 phases of your turn. So the first phase is activation, second phase is purchase, third phase sell, and the last phase is earn, and then your turn is over. If you flip the player menu over, you can see some common rules to remember while you're playing. Then you have board tiles in the middle. These you're going to want to put out in various ways. You can rotate, that's with Q and E. You can also flip over with F, and you can pretty much make whatever shape you want. And you can play in either teams of 2, so 2 versus 2, or you can do 1-on-1. Looking at the game pieces, you can see the 3 unit types on the right. Then you have the 4 structure types in the middle. There's also the command on the far left. And then you have the 2 upgrade types. And if you want to know what any of these do, you can just look at the player menu and it'll show you the details about them. There's also the mineral deck right here. This is going to be the resources. So they come out randomly when you draw. So when you get a random assortment of the mineral cards, you can decide what you want to buy on the purchase phase. During the activation phase, you can only do one activation when you're starting out. So for example, you could choose to move either this fighter or this mech, and moving and attacking is one activation combined. But to get more activations on your turn, you would need to save up and purchase these research cards. Easiest one being to get the iron first. So next time on the activation phase, it would be 1, then 2. And you can't use 2 activations on 1 unit. In this scenario, green would want to move up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Problem with this spot is that white can move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and take green out. So green would need to move back 1 to be safe. It's okay to move pieces diagonally through these little wedge areas, but you wouldn't be able to move the pieces past another piece. All pieces on the board will block movement and line of sight. If this unit was to attack this barricade, it would just be one attack and it would just take it away instantly. But if for some reason white was to purchase a shield for that barricade, now it would take 2 attacks, but this unit only has 1 attack, so it would be 1 hit would take off the shield, and then on another turn or with a different unit, they would have to attack the structure. How green would use their activation in this turn would be to move this fighter up and then attack, all in 1 activation. But let's say the barricade had a shield upgrade on it, then it would be move up and then attack the shield. So during the activation phase, you can see blue can only do 1 activation. So blue would move the fighter up, attack this mech. But then also, blue has a turret right here, and turrets don't require an activation to be used, so it would just attack, and it gets to do that once per turn. Looking at the special cards that are in the mineral deck, for the secret passage one, how this one works is, for example, I could take this shooter right here, go 1, 2, 3. Now I'm 1 square away from the hidden passage square. Could even be standing here, that's fine too. And then I would play the card and then take the secret passage tile and place it right over the hidden passage square. And then on the next turn, this unit could go through here, or another unit on their activation go through here. And you treat it just like a normal square, so you can build on it, you can move through it, you can shoot through it, and you can block it. And then for the glitch card, just place that one down, select an empty tile that you want to change, like for example this one, tap L to unlock it, lift it up, you can flip it, turn it, and then make sure you just tap L and relock it. One of the first things you want to be saving up for is getting your second miner right here. On the purchase phase, now that we have the 2 iron, you want to place that second miner, and it has to be on a blue square of a different tile, and it has to be one that has something that's already occupying in it. You can see this fighter's already on the tile, so it's okay to place that here. I wouldn't be able to place the miner on this tile because there's no one there. Even if the fighter was to leave this tile, you can still, during the purchase phase, buy structures and place it on that tile that you had before. Because you already have a structure on it, so it's controlled by you. You can't place structures on tiles that have opponents' pieces on it, whether it's a unit or a structure. You wouldn't be able to build on it because it's contested. So you'd first need to clear off any other opponents on the tile. And if you have 2 of the same type of resource, so like 2 silver for example, or the 2 gold, you can actually, when you're in the purchase phase, you can convert 2 of them into one of a different resource. So for example, if I wanted to get this gold research card right here, so I would just do 1 gold, 2 gold, and these 2 silvers would equal that last gold. You can't use these to convert into special cards or vice versa. Just looking at the miners specifically, you'll see that it says first, second, and third. That's because the first miner costs 1 iron, the second one costs 2 iron, and the third one costs 3 iron. And when you start out, you typically will have 1 miner already, so that means the second one's going to cost 2 iron. But let's say you lost your miner, that would be now that if you were to buy a miner, it just costs 1 iron. During the purchase phase, you want to try and purchase all 4 of these eventually throughout the match. So you can purchase them with the price in the corner. Having all 4 of them will allow you to activate 4 units plus the one you started with, so you can activate up to 5 units on your turn. You can see right there it says +1 unit activation. These other 3 have special abilities on them. For example, the silver card has a special ability for the fighter. The fighter can actually interrupt its movements by going 1, 2, 3, attack, 4, 5. And when you get these research cards, you're going to want to, once you purchase them, just grab one that's the one that you purchased, and then you just put it in front of you. On the sell phase, you can't sell units, you can only sell structures. So, for example, you can take this barricade, pull it off the board, and just draw a new card. During the earn phase, you can see in this example that white has a command and a miner, so they would be earning 2 mineral cards. Looking over at red, you would see they have 3 miners and their command, so that's going to be 4 mineral cards. Looking over at blue, you see they have a command, a miner, and the advanced miner upgrade, so that'd be earning 3 mineral cards. And then looking over at green, you can see it's 5, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is no limit to the hand size, so you can have as many mineral cards as you want, although I don't think it's advantageous to collect a bunch of cards. Once you lay down all the tiles in whatever pattern or shape you want, then you're going to want to highlight all the tiles, pick them up, and adjust them so they're not covering anyone's section, and then just drop them down where you want, and then tap L, and that'll lock the tiles in place. Now we can start. So first thing is to draw 2 cards for each player. So you can, if you have the overlay on, you can just right click the deck and just say deal, and that will deal to all the players who are playing. So you can see it's just me right now, but if you had 4 players, it would deal to everybody. Then after each player has received their cards, the first player will go first, and they'll take the command and put it on a blue square of any tile. So we'll put it here for this player. Each player is going to take turns doing that. Next, you'll want to place your first miner. And same thing, put it on a blue square of a different tile. Next, you'll want to place your first fighter. And units always have to be trained on the tile that your command is on. That's your training tile. And typically when you're starting out, you'll want to put the fighter on the edge. So any gray square, which is a floor square, any gray square along the edge of that tile. Taking a look at the board tile anatomy, you'll see that the black is the walls, and then the gray is the flooring. The blue is flooring with a resource square, and the floor is where the units can move and attack, and then also you can place structures. And then you have the hidden passage square right here for the hidden passage tile. And this last one is optional if you want to make the game go faster, or if you're playing in teams, you can place your first portal, and the portal can be placed on any tile that you own, any tile you occupy or control. And same thing has to be on a floor square. Since this is a team match, the teammates can share their portals, and it's white's turn to start. So first phase is activation. So the fighter is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So activation's now done. There's no one to attack. Now it's purchase phase. White player has a silver and a gold. So the best thing I'd say to do is to start out by buying a shooter and a fighter. Get more units on the field. And since in the third phase there's nothing to sell, we'll skip that. And the last phase is earn. And you can see that this player has the command and their first miner. So this player would just draw 2, and then their turn is over. And the way to win is just to destroy your opponent's command. So you can see like that would be destroyed. You could, for example, purchase a shield for your command. And that way when it comes up, you just chip the shield off. And you can see on the player menu that it shows that the command can shoot like a turret. So the player would need to be lined up omnidirectional. So for example, if this player was standing here, they wouldn't be able to get shot. Once you defeat an opponent by destroying their command, you would just pull off all of the rest of their pieces and then just play whoever's remaining in the game. But typically in team matches, the other teammate would just surrender. If you have any questions about the rules, just go to techtightgames.com, click on the contact form, and just send me a message. My name is Jake. I am the designer and publisher of this game, Tactical Tech.